Hello, my name is Teresa, and this is my channel where I sometimes talk about books and sometimes talk about censorship. But today, I will be talking about the brain worms that everyone has caught. Heated Rivalry. There's a very specific topic that I want to talk about when I'm talking about Heated Rivalry. There's a lot to say. There's a lot that I could talk about with that show, with that book, and the other two books in that series that I have read. I could talk about the fucking accent of Kip in the audiobook of Game Changer, which has stalled me out. I cannot make myself read that book, listen to that book because of that accent. But I'm not here today to talk about the book. I'm here today to talk about the TV show, specifically a conversation that I have been seeing about the TV show from the audience. And I absolutely loathe it. I absolutely loathe that the actors of Heated Rivalry are continuously asked, and this question is continuously posed in this space around this show. And that question that the actors are asked is, why do you think romance resonates with women? The question itself I don't like, because it very much has the implication of, why does this gay romance attract straight women? They say women, but as you may have seen, they don't really care about queer women or trans women, as evident in the fact that Quinn, who asked the actors Hudson William and Connor Story this question, they cut out a part of Hudson's response where he mentions trans women. They went back and fixed it and made an apology.
Why do you think romance resonates so strongly with women right now?
We've both talked about this and kind of been intrigued by it. And even just women, there are straight women, there are gay women, like queer women. It feels like a giant term to be like, I know. We've talked about this and kind of been intrigued by it.
There's so many reasons.
There's so many reasons. And then even just women, there are straight women, there are trans women, there are gay women, like queer women. Well, that feels like a giant term to be like, I know.
But they did cut it out. And the fact that that was their first instinct, I think really shows who this conversation is centering. I think that Hudson and Connor navigate this question so well, and also really inclusively. Like I said, Hudson mentioned trans and queer women when he was answering this, and Connor very simply put it, they're not women, so they don't know. And just this question grinds my gears so much. It plays into this larger phenomenon that I see happening in certain corners of this fandom, specifically on Threads. That's where I am engaging in the show the most. And it's taking this Achillean, and I'm using Achillean because we want to be specific with our words. They mean things. And Achillean means a male-male romance, where sapphic does not mean that. This Achillean story is being shifted away from conversation about men, masculinity, and queerness, and it's being shifted to, what is it that women desire? And that is just gross to me, especially because there is an intersection between those three things and why women are the primary audience for not only male romance, but romance in general. I am going to be the too woke friend when I explain this. The conversation that should really be happening when discussing why straight women are attracted to romance is the conditioning of the patriarchy. Women are conditioned to act out femininity in a certain way and desire a specific brand of masculinity. They're allowed to engage with their emotions, whereas men are taught to reject all emotions. And the romance genre explores emotions very deeply, and its readership demographics reflect this social conditioning. Women read more romance than men. And because the romance genre has a wide variety of setups to their stories, it allows women to find stories where perhaps they play into these patriarchal gender norms, or it allows them an escape from those gender norms, or even escape in the complete absence of a woman in the story through stories where women are not the main love interest, such as romances. Although, just because a woman can enjoy an romance does not mean that that romance should be intended specifically for a straight woman audience. If you are writing about a queer experience and you are not queer, then you need to do your due diligence and make sure that you are reflecting it in a caring way and not fetishizing it. But that's a topic for another time. I will say that even romances aren't completely devoid of the patriarchy. In a way, Heated Rivalry outwardly shows very traditionally masculine men with Ilya and Shane. They are both very athletic. That can draw in certain audience members. And that's not saying that this show or the books don't push against the patriarchy. Both Shane and Ilya seem to lack internal homophobia. They are both accepting in their own way that they are attracted to men, and they don't exhibit any hatred of themselves for that reason. And internal homophobia is inherent in a patriarchal society. Ilya is also constantly asking Shane for his consent in all of the activities that they do. And patriarchy is all about male dominance. Male entitlement is a key feature of the patriarchy. And also, both characters are emotional to an extent. They show emotional vulnerability. Shane, in particular, is very emotional, and he does very little to try and hide that fact, and that goes against the traditional sense of the word of masculinity. So this show in itself creates a new sort of definition for that word. I would also argue that the rest of the Game Changers books do even more to subvert traditional masculinity and the patriarchy. The entirety of the MLH, NHL could work as a metaphor for that system, and there are very good analysis to be made about how the show is feminist and how well it portrays a healthy masculinity, one that is in touch with its emotions kind, accepting, and unafraid of the perception of others. And ultimately, it's not that straight women are naturally predisposed to like romance or romance at all. It's that straight men are taught to not like it, so they don't engage with it. So that is why you are seeing that reaction from women, the majority of women. But women of all kinds, straight, queer, trans, non binary, and men of all kinds are enjoying this show. And ultimately, the show is adapted by Jacob Tierney, who is a gay man who wanted to tell a story of queer joy. The discussion around it should be focused on that. How we hope there are reflections of stories like Scott and Kip and Shane and Ilya in real life, and how we can see more of it in both media and real life.